but the vast majority of white people and the vast majority of black people in this country want to live together, want to improve the quality of our life, and want justice for all human beings that abide in our land. And what dedicate ourselves to what the Greeks wrote so many years ago, to tame the savageness of man and make gentle the life of this world. Let us dedicate ourselves to that and say a prayer for our country and for our people. Thank you very much.
What's up, wise guys and gals, and welcome to episode 22 of the Wise Eats podcast. I'm your host, former fat guy, Wes Wise, and I hope you're all doing very well, healthy, and safe amidst this insane time that we're living in. So much tragedy and violence going on in the world right now, and it's just crazy. But we're going to try to set all that aside today and talk a little health and fitness, because that's exactly where it starts. Your mentality and the way you are with people and how you respond to things and how you conduct yourself, it all starts with the things that you're putting in your body, your physical activity, and how you're treating the inside. Because how you treat in here is what you portray out there.
No need nothing except what inside you to grow.
You know, one of the things I'm trying to do with this show is inspire people to become passionate about health and fitness. And that's why I'm super pumped to have Cooper Brunner on today's episode. He's the creator of CooperBrunner.com and the Cooper Brunner Podcast. He's a former collegiate baseball player and an online fitness coach. Also joining me today is his co-host, Kirsten McCallum. She is a former college volleyball player and overcame 2 back surgeries to become a women's physique competitor. So we're going to be talking training, diet, and all kinds of different ways to make today count. So to find the show notes and the YouTube video for this episode, go to wise-eats.com/episode 22. So without further ado, I present to you Cooper Brunner and Kirsten McCallum. It's time to wise up. So Kirsten and Cooper, welcome to the Wise. Kirsten?
I've said it wrong the whole time too. It's okay. It's okay.
I swear,
I
listened to your guys' show, and I heard one of you pronounce it Kirsten, and I actually made a note to, like, I don't know, to say it like that. I was like, oh, that's kind of a weird way to say Kirsten.
Well, Cooper mispronounced it for, like, the first, 6 episodes. So.
Oh, that's what it was then. So it's Cooper's fault.
It is Cooper's fault,
It's my fault, man. I learned the hard way off the record.
No, that was on the record.
On the record and off the record, you gave me we're actually right next to each other in the conference room at my family's company. So
yeah,
we're just bickering at this, but dude, we're excited to be on the show, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys taking some time and coming on here. How's COVID life been treating you?
The COVID life has been crazy, man. I've been fortunate with my family's company. I'll give you a little background. We operate a dietary supplement company, so we're an essential business, which has been actually crazy for us. So I've been driving to and fro normally, and just seeing things in the news, all the chaos for other people. It's been pretty crazy for other people, but for me, I'm just kind of business as usual. I don't know about you, Kirsten.
Yeah, so I'm a project manager for a company called Siemens Smart Infrastructure, and we basically do all the control for HVAC, fire and security for hospitals, large infrastructures, the Nike campus, like any big building in Oregon or campus, we control. So we're still considered an essential business as well. So I've just been working like normal. The only thing that's missing is the gym.
Yeah, none of them have been open yet out in Oregon, right?
No, yeah. So we're in Washington County, and it's still shut down. I think Clackamas opened. I think it's just Washington and Multnomah County that's still shut down in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're still shut down in Michigan here until like June 12th, supposedly.
Until
they extend it again.
Rough.
I've been seeing the news on your guys' end. It's been pretty crazy with people just pissed off about not being able to go to work and have their rights, taken from them.
Yeah. Everybody around here seems to hate Governor Whitmer right now. So it's
That guy.
it's been crazy.
Tough go lately.
Miss Brown is not being. We're not really happy with her over in Oregon either.
Yeah. So have you guys been working out at home?
I was until I hurt myself, but yes.
Oh no, you hurt yourself.
Oh yeah. Strained my glute hiking and then rolled my ankle in the grass. Nothing fun.
Yeah, on my end, I've been pivoting towards just at-home workouts. I'm fortunate enough to have a pretty dialed gym at home with a bench press and can do all the essential workouts with resistance. I'm not using any resistance bands, but I have a pretty good program for myself and just sticking to the routine with abbreviated exercises. And I've been running more. So that's been our plan over here.
Yeah.
Right. I had picked up running and was finally getting good at it and then got hurt. So we're going to give up on that again.
Oh, that's
how about you?
Oh, actually, I'm fortunate to have a gym in my garage. I got like squat rack, bench, all dumbbells and kettlebells. So I really haven't skipped a beat. Actually, I probably made the best gains during quarantine of my life, really.
So jealous.
We're jealous.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cooper and I were just talking. We're like, we're getting so soft over here.
Hey, I have kept my muscle. I've been checking myself on my body fat percentage, and I've lost a few lbs. I've actually, for the first time since high school, I'm at 188 pounds. So my diet is there, but I do feel a little lighter because I've been running. And Kirsten's giving me some crap over here because I'm getting a little lean. But hey, I'm excited. It's summertime, summer shred.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. But anyway, like I said, I've been binge listening to your guys' show, and it's really good. I'm an instant fan of it. And I just wanted to find out, how did you two become co-hosts?
Well, Cooper came up to me at the gym, kind of introduced himself, and I knew he had his podcast, and I knew he was kind of like trying to get it back up and running again. And so I had wanted to start a podcast, and I figured two minds was better than one. And so I reached out to him on Instagram and I was like, you want to do this together? I think it'd be easier. And I was like, just think on it, like no pressure. And he got back to me. He's like, yeah, let's do it. And so our first episode together was an interview for me. And then we just took it from there.
Episode 16.
I'll add to that too, because originally when I first started my podcast, there really was no objective other than it being fun and talking about, what I've learned in fitness and health and personal growth, development, whatever. That's kind of what struck me to start it. And originally, when people first started making podcasts, they were just pressing play using the Anchor app and just going. So I would literally late at night, just press play, what's on your mind, just start talking. And it was trash. It was terrible. I said like the entire time. But I started growing more interest in the fact that like what I learned in my experiences, I can share with other people and for free, right? And so that's where that interest came. And I was getting slow progress. I mean, we're talking 6 months into it. When I started, I had maybe 10 subscribers and I needed another perspective. And so my objective was to find someone with like-minded interests but a different perspective. And so when I saw Kirsten, got to know her, fed off her energy, I knew instantly that she would be someone that I would love to build a bigger audience with. And so actually about a month ago, we hit 3,700 downloads. And so really it's just been the consistency, our putting our own flavor on our show, personality, being authentic, and just giving people tips and tidbits about what we've found in health and fitness and life that's helped us. And the rest is history,
Yeah, definitely. I think you guys have a good dynamic, especially your perspectives as former athletes is particularly interesting to me because I was not an athlete. I was just a big fat guy that drank a lot of booze. And, in high school and college, I was just partying, and it took a while for me to really, get my stuff together. And So
definitely, I got a little taste of that too after baseball. For your listeners, I played at Oregon State, and when I finished my career, when I decided to just focus on school, I actually got fat. I was about 230, 235 at 6'1". I have a photo that me with a red Solo cup in my hand out in the summer playing with those I don't know your audience is if it's PG, but those little testy balls that you like spin onto like different tiers. Anyways, I've gone through the experience of being fat, feeling like crap, and trying to pivot to becoming fit again. You know, I was D1 athlete, falling apart, going into the frat, kind of not having my goals intact, and understand the troubles that people have that are fat, that a lot of fitness people realistically can't relate to. You know, you see a lot of fitness enthusiasts or influencers, right, on Instagram that are super jacked, and they are complaining to people or just kind of bitching at people saying like, it's being fit is easy. It's you eat this, you eat that, but there's more to the whole equation. You understand like how do you start, right? For me, how I can relate to the people that I work with is like, dude, I've been there. I know what it feels like, the confidence being at an all-time low from playing Division I baseball till being chubby and having to put in the work. It just makes it more relatable and more fun, right?
Yeah, I've swayed both sides of the pendulum. So I was supposed to play volleyball at Boise State, but I tore my rotator cuff and had rotator cuff surgery just before I graduated high school. I ended up getting really skinny. So I'm almost 5'10", and I was like 145 after that surgery, which is real small for me. And then I got into lifting, put on some healthy weight, hurt my back, had back surgery, got fat from back surgery, got back into lifting, got in shape again, had a second back surgery, lost 30 pounds in muscle, and then just got back into lifting again. And then I competed last year for the first time, and was probably like 10-11% body fat, and then came off of that, and we're just kind of living life right now. So I've seen every aspect of fitness and like every weight, you know, being overweight, being underweight, like it's hard any which way.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part for people who need to get started, is just finding that passion for health and fitness.
Yeah.
And both of you may have just touched on it, but I wanted to ask you, you know, when did you guys actually first become passionate about health and fitness? Was it through your athletic careers, or was it, you know, overcoming injuries, or was it, you know, something else?
So for me, when volleyball was no longer an option, I needed a different outlet for working out. Boise State had a really cool campus gym, and I got into lifting. Once I started seeing results, it became very addicting. And I just kind of like fell in love with being able to shape my body and like being able to look how I wanted to look. And then came the diet portion, which is the hardest part. Learning what a macro is and how your body adjusts to different things. That's been a process for me. That's been kind of like a life learning thing. And I learn as I go, because your body changes as you get older. So
for my end, after college baseball, you know, I've always been very consistent with my training. You know, I looked at it from a different lens when I was in high school and middle school with working out. It was more so for my sport. And once the wheels fell off after baseball, I got back into the gym after about 6 months. I was probably a sophomore in college, about summer sophomore year. That's when I really felt my confidence come back. In my fraternity at Oregon State, people started taking note. I felt like I had a little chip on my shoulder because I played college baseball, and there was an expectation there that I should look the part, right? I should be athletic and fit. And so when I started getting that intention and confidence, people coming to me asking about like, hey, how do you program? How do you gain weight? How do you lose weight? That's really where I took it another level and started considering, you know, YouTube channel, podcast, getting into making a website. I started making a website and blogging and had a small little following there. So it really started it all within that sophomore year, and just been making incremental steps with just the consistency of having the right intentions and then the consistency of trying to help other people. Just recently I made a program for a softball college here locally, Willamette University. I'm making a softball program for them. So that's been really big for me, because that's one of the goals for me, is to help baseball colleges or high schools and program for them, because again, it comes back to experience. I know how the body works for softball, baseball, and can program to that physique and what you want to get as far as peak performance.
Yeah, that's great that you're drawing on your, personal experience from the college career. Can you guys go back to maybe your lowest and highest moments from your athletic careers?
So for me, lowest was for sure my first back surgery. I had worked really hard to get in shape, and I herniated a disc in my lower back, and within 2 weeks lost my abs, and then gained probably 25 pounds because I was bedridden for 6 months.
Wow.
Legit could not walk. We decided to have the back surgery, and then that was another 3-month recovery. So for 9 months, I couldn't do anything. And it was really tough going from, being active 6-7 days a week to laying in your bed for 9 months. Super depressing, not a good time.
Yeah. It's my worst nightmare.
For sure. Yeah. For sure, the worst thing that's happened. The second back surgery went better. Probably the peak though was competition this last year. That's the leanest I've ever been. I spent so many hours training, doing cardio, dieting, tracking my macros, and it was the hardest, most rewarding thing I've ever done. It wasn't stepping on stage. It was the grind that I loved.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm dying to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. But Cooper, did you want to talk about your highest and lowest?
Yeah, I mean, I'll elaborate more on my low, because I know a lot of people are probably wondering, why did you end your career so early in college baseball? Because I played 1 year, and then after that season, I kind of went through a funk that summer where I know I didn't get a lot of play time at Oregon State, and after going through a full season and sticking to that commitment of what I was doing with school on top of my sport, I got really overwhelmed and started doubting myself on, is this really something that I want to do after college? And so I had a really tough conversation with my dad where I told him, I don't really love the game anymore. I'm burnt out. I'm practicing every single day. I accomplished my goal of getting a scholarship and playing baseball, but I hate to break it to you, but I'm kind of pooped out and want to do something else. And so that was a really tough time for me when I decided to step away from my scholarship, step away from baseball, and figure out my life, because I knew that there was life after baseball, and baseball would be something that would be fun for a short period of time, and knew the reality of being a professional baseball player is very slim. And so that was a depressing time for me. And that's when I got super fat and had to figure it out. And it was at the same time, I laugh at myself now, because it was a very powerful experience for me. It's when you have to overcome that adversity. And I always use it as something that I'll explain to people that, are going through some similar experience where they're struggling to get back to where they want to go, or they've never gone to the next level of their fitness. I can always bring back to that level, because I remember those times of how hard it was and how shitty I felt, because I had all my friends, everybody that knew me as this Division I athlete, baseball player, oh, he's going places, and then telling my friends dude, I'm done. it felt kind of like a loser, right? Like a quitter.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a hard pill to swallow. But looking back now, it's one of the greatest moments that I've had recently is just when I have little kids reach out to me on Instagram or email and just say like how much of an inspiration you are to me. Like, I see you always working. I see you giving so much to people that like, I want to be similar to you, or like, I want to be at your level. Like, how do I get there? Like, that fires me up and keeps me going, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. That could be your highest moment right there, is just giving back to people and, you know, continuing to contribute to the sport that you loved at one time, and, you know, keeping the grind going, keeping inspiring people.
100%.
So, Kirsten, how is your back these days?
Oh, it's great. Super successful on both surgeries. After my first surgery, I deadlifted 325.
Nice.
Let's go.
Yeah. And then the second surgery, I haven't tried to really push the weight heavy. I've come to the conclusion that being healthy and being able to be in the gym long term is more of a priority than lifting all the weight in the world. And so my back is great. I haven't had any difficulties with it, which is super fortunate. Most people have some sort of pain here or there with it.
Yeah. You always hear horror stories with back surgeries.
Yeah. And I think I was just a great surgical candidate because I went into surgery mostly in shape, and trying to remain active and eating healthy. So we're good.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great that you were able to, you know, hit that peak performance in your, you know, your physique competition last year, despite having that history.
Yeah. It's a lot of people don't know that I've had back surgery unless they've talked to me. You wouldn't know if you saw me in the gym. Like, I just look like everyone else in the gym.
No, yeah. And I was checking your Instagram earlier. You looked incredible. That was really impressive.
Thank you.
For sure. What originally attracted you to weightlifting?
You know, I had a friend reach out and just be like, "Hey, do you want to go to the gym with me? I'm a little intimidated." And I was like, "Yeah, let's go together." And it was someone from my hometown that we just so ended up going to Boise State together. And so I knew her, and we both just kind of got into it together. And I realized I could be whoever I wanted and look like whatever I wanted with the gym. And it could be my me time where I just focus on me. And I absolutely love that about the gym. If you want to be, you know, super shredded, you can do that. If you want to be super lean, you can do that. If you want to be a power lifter, like, it's in your control.
Yeah, definitely. You know, a lot of people that are trying to lose weight or get in shape, they're, especially I would assume women, are reluctant to get into the weightlifting. You know, what would you say to that? Like, what would be your biggest lesson learned when you were first starting out?
You know, I was really hesitant in high school to get into weightlifting. I didn't know. You know, the stereotype of weightlifting makes you big. It's not true. If you want to look at it from a scientific point of view, the more muscle you have, the more energy you burn. So if you put on muscle, you're going to burn more calories, and it's easier to lose the weight. So for girls or women trying to get in there, if you're nervous about the free weights, go to the machine weights, go to the cable weights, build some confidence, and then don't care about what other people think. You're in there to work on yourself and just focus on that.
Do you have any advice for somebody who might be thinking about competing? That's something I've always actually been interested in. It seems like, you know, I'm very self-motivated. I have no trouble getting in the gym, but to take it to the next level, you know, competing might be, you know, something. What would you say to somebody that's thinking about it? And what does that look like?
I would look at it from, are you mentally ready? Do you have a good support system? Are you ready to give up basically your whole life? Are you willing to say no to going out? Are you willing to say no to alcohol? Are you willing to weigh out all your food? You know, it's a huge commitment, and it's pretty expensive. So you need to be all in from the beginning or wait until you are. I think the biggest thing that I struggled with at the time was the support system. If you don't have people around you supporting you, it's so easy to derail. And so being mentally prepared to be tired and to be hungry all the time is something you just need to know.
God, I have so many questions I want to ask you about this. What would you say is the biggest difference that you see between training for physique and just like general fitness and, trying to feel good and look good? So it's two totally different things.
100%. If you're training for a competition, you are in a deficit almost every day.
Yikes.
You're doing towards the end probably absurd amount of cardio, versus if you just want to be healthy, either maintenance or at a slight deficit, and then just have a consistent approach to the gym, a little bit of cardio, some weights. Like, you don't need to go as far as tracking your macros, weighing your food. Just be aware of what you're eating. It's okay to have a candy bar every now and again. Just don't eat the piece of bread later. It's just a different mindset of being very strict and then knowing your goal.
All right. The question I have for both of you, what are your, I know it's a little weird right now with COVID going on, but what does a normal training regimen look like on a normal day for both of you? Like the time of day that you work out and just generally what kind of?
Yeah, for me, I'm usually 5 to 6 days a week. One day is normally something to go do outside. I'm a big hiker. Here in Oregon, we got so many cool places to check out, a lot of sightseeing, and just it's phenomenal out here. But I actually have a philosophy that right now is trending with Ryan Fisher and the CrossFit community. I do high intensity interval bodybuilding, so upbeat with the spin bike or using climbers or coming up with ways to keep your heart rate up and short bursts of energy with, i.e. a workout would be doing deadlifts, going straight on the bike, doing a 20 cal airdyne bike, and then doing pull-ups for 10 pull-ups, and then I'll do 5-6 rounds. So I have my own personal spin on that trend, and that's my spring summer look. And then fall winter, it's all strength training. So it's the 5x5s, it's the heavy volume, German volume training. I put my own twist on that. And really, here in Oregon, you're bundled up, right? So you got nothing to show in the fall and winter. So
bundled
I
up.
have a good.
Come to Michigan.
It's a whole different level.
Oh,
hard
God.
pass on that one.
Thank God it's starting to get warm out.
Yeah, no kidding. But that's
Anyway.
what mine looks like.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So for me, I like lifting in the evenings, just first and foremost. I'm full of food and lots of energy. And then I train for what I want to work on. So for example, I like to work on my shoulders and I like to work on my legs, mostly my glutes. And so my regimen is legs, back, legs, shoulders, legs. And then my 6th day is typically like abs. And then whatever wasn't feeling good earlier in the week. So like if my back day wasn't great, then I'll do back, or I'll throw in another shoulder day. And then I take one recovery day from the weight room and go on a hike. I'll throw in like 10 minutes of cardio to warm up and maybe 10 minutes at the end, depending on like how fast I'm trying to drop weight. But I for sure do a bodybuilding like philosophy. I try to lift as heavy as I can. I do, 3 or 4 sets of 10. I do a lot of volume when I'm in the gym though. Like, we're probably talking about 300 reps before I'm done. And so I do a lot of training all week long. And that is not something that you just dive into.
Mm-hmm.
You do not start there. That's something that I've worked into over the years. But I love weightlifting, so that's what I do a lot of.
I'm not gonna lie, I love your style.
Good time.
I'm the same way. I weightlift like 6 days a week, and it's the time I feel like the most alive. It's amazing.
For sure. And like for me, I don't really do chest unless it's a Sunday and I feel like going to the gym and like, okay, we'll do chest. But like as a female, I don't really feel the need to like lift chest, and like competing, it's not really important. And so I hit enough upper pec with doing shoulders, and that's good enough for me.
And what are both of your current health and fitness goals?
The gym to open.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for real. It's been all over the place. My goals were strength goals before this COVID crap, but obviously I don't have the accessories or the equipment to do that. But right now, man, it's just trying to get people like into that space where they can exercise, like coming up with workouts. I'm trying to post stuff on my website, get people excited to do something active, right? Like I've been running more, trying to get people to go outside and be active, even though the government's telling us to stay home. You know, I'm telling them to go run.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, it's a shit show. You know, everyone's frustrated. We're done with what we've been told, and America needs to get back to work, you know?
Amen.
Yeah. So for me, I don't really have a desire to compete again. It was something that I wanted to do, and I can say that I did it. But I learned a lot from that. And so my current goal, A, get uninjured, but B, when everything opens back up, we're going to reel the diet back in. I don't think I'm going to be weighing out food, but just being aware of what I eat. And my goal is to be about anywhere from 5 to 8 pounds above my stage weight, which is a lean, healthy, athletic look, and try to maintain that year round, which is doable. It's, you know, it's something that's going to take a lot of work, because I for sure had a good time after my last competition.
Yeah, I bet.
So we got a few pounds to lose, which is fine though. Like I'm comfortable with where I'm at. I'm not disappointed in myself. It's not like I don't like how I look. It's just the ebb and flow of life. And then COVID happened. And so it's just getting back in the mindset of eating healthy and knowing what my goals are, and then training for those goals and eating for those goals.
All right, cool. Real quick, I don't want to go too over on time here, but what does like a typical diet day look for you guys? I know, Cooper, you talked about before that you did intermittent fasting a lot. So wondering if you're still doing that, and just kind of run through a quick typical day as it relates to diet.
Yeah, so for me, I do what most people would call the warrior diet, 16-hour window of not eating and then 8-hour window of eating. I've looked into this and researched, and there's a ton of studies. Dr. Rhonda Patrick on foundmyfitness.com talks a lot about the longevity benefits, your metabolism boost benefits, and as well as just your focus throughout the day. I've been doing intermittent fasting for about 4 or 5 years now, and my body is adjusted to not eating in the morning, and I'm staying consistent. A lot of people don't understand that you can do any diet. You can do the Atkins diet. You can do keto. It really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, food is energy, and it's like a teeter-totter, like less calories in, energy out equals losing weight. So at the end of the day, you just need to know how many calories you're taking in and how much you're exerting. And so intermittent fasting has just been great for me, because I'm not a big breakfast guy, and I love my lunches and I love big dinners. So that's been, I don't track my macros, but I do use my FitnessPal app and am aware of what my calories are. I'm at the point now where I know based off what I'm eating how many calories they should be. So that's just with consistency, like plugging in what I normally eat. I'm pretty habitual with my lunches. I have like 8 or 9 things that I'll eat. And then my dinners are pretty open. So that's my route. And it changes with my objectives as far as whether I want to shred out or gain muscle or maintenance.
Okay. Do you write any kind of programs or anything for people?
I've given a few menu plans on what options I have on my website at cooperbrunner.com. But for the most part, I try to stay away from nutrition plans simply because I'm not like certified as a nutritionist. Exactly, I don't want to get into that space where I'm full of crap, because I'm not full of crap, but I'm not going to recommend you things that someone else on a higher level should be recommending you. But I just tell off my experience what's worked for me.
Absolutely. Yep. How about you, Kirsten?
Yeah. So for me, I love food. And so I like to eat all day long.
Forget the intermittent fasting.
Oh yeah. I tried it. It was just not for me. So, I mean, I make breakfast in the morning. I'm typically an early riser. When things are normal, I wake up at 5 a.m. and go downstairs, make my coffee, do my meal prep for breakfast, lunch, and my snacks, and then head to work. And I eat my first meal around 7 o'clock. Typically, some sort of protein and a light carb, like oatmeal or something like that. Nothing too heavy. And then I'll go to lunch at 11. I like cucumbers because they're virtually 0 calories and you can eat a lot of them. So I usually eat cucumbers throughout the day to maintain like that full feeling. And then lunch is chicken usually, and vegetables, and some sort of carb, usually rice cakes because it's just simple. And then I like to focus the majority of my carbs right before I work out. So an hour or two before I go lift, I eat 50 to 80 grams of carbs and I let that digest, and then I go hit the gym because I want those carbs to be used at the right time when I'm burning calories and I need the energy, not when I'm sitting at my desk. So I focus my carbs around my workout. I know my coach was like, you should be eating carbs after your workout as well. So you're supposed to have 25% before and 25% afterwards, according to my coach. Everyone has a different philosophy. Mm-hmm. But because I lift so late, eating that many carbs before bed just didn't make me feel good. So I keep my carbs lower for dinner. And I do protein and like sauteed veggies, and then usually a scoop of peanut butter. So yeah, super simple food all day long.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, I have so many other questions that I wanted to ask, but we're running out of time, and I want to run through some rapid fire quick bites with you guys. So try to get through these as quick as possible. What was the biggest single factor holding you back from starting your healthy lifestyle?
I would say the biggest thing for me was the discipline. You always want to go drink, you want to go eat that cookie, you want to have that ice cream, but when you actually see the results, that makes the difference there, that this is what it takes.
For me, it was just not being knowledgeable with nutrition. I wasn't getting the results I needed because I wasn't eating right.
There you go. That's everything. What is your favorite exercise routine or program?
German volume training. Bring on the volume, bring on the strength training, because it works and it's super effective.
Awesome.
I don't really have a particular one. I just really love legs and shoulders.
All right. And I think you wrote your own programs during your...
Yeah, I write all my own lifting programs. And then my coach does my nutrition and my cardio.
Very nice. What's your favorite specific lift?
The deadlift. You gotta love the deadlift. That's 100% my favorite.
If I didn't have 2 back surgeries, I'd say the same thing. But for me, either shoulder press or the glute bridge.
Oh, glute bridge. Oh, that's an interesting one. What is one healthy food you can't live without?
Cucumbers.
A nice medium rare top sirloin steak.
You guys have a favorite muscle building recipe?
Eat.
You got to eat big to get big.
Yeah.
Really, it's a good solid protein shake at night. That's what my go-to there.
All right. What's your favorite unwise food choice?
Energy drinks.
Oh, yeah.
Energy drinks and sesame donuts.
Oh, yeah. Give me a good donut.
What's one thing you've been successful in because of your dedication to fitness?
Life, honestly. Being dedicated to my gym routine has helped me focus everything else in my life and with work.
Spot on. It all applies. If you're self-aware of it and you understand it, it's applicable in every aspect of life.
Okay, and one item in your kitchen you can't live without?
Probably just my skillet that I cook everything in.
Yeah, seriously, that's a go-to. But I don't know, my blender. It's crucial too.
God, you guys hit my number one and my number two, my cast iron skillet and my blend tech. I can't live without them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you were talking cast iron skillet or not. You said skillet, so that's what I heard.
Whatever cooks the food. I don't discriminate.
Right. Are you guys reading any books right now?
Unfortunately, no. I had started Think and Grow Rich. I'm about halfway through it. I need to get back on that gravy train.
Napoleon Hill.
Oh, awesome.
Amazing book, though.
I have that book. I haven't read it yet.
Amazing. Easy read.
You got to read it. It's one of my top 5 books for sure. I actually have it. I have the book that I'm reading right now it's kind of hokey, but at the same time, there's some bits and pieces of it that I really like. It's called The Law of Attraction by Michael Lozier. Really enjoyed it. It's if you follow Notorious or Conor McGregor, he talks about the law of attraction in a lot of his interviews. And
that's my boy.
McGregor.
Yeah. Awesome.
He and Andy Frisella from First Form, he recommended that book as well, just to understand the vibrations of what you bring out, positive or negative, causes a rippling effect of success or failures. So I really like it so far. Almost done. So quick read.
Awesome. Okay. And speaking of that, what do you guys listen to podcasts? I know Cooper does, but I don't know.
I like to listen to podcasts in the morning when I'm getting ready. Just some background. I usually listen to motivational podcasts. The Mindset Mentor, really good. Start from the beginning. It is amazing. Their intro has such a good hook in the music that you just want to listen to more. That's my favorite podcast outside of Cooper and Kirsten.
So top 3 for me lately, it's been the MF CEO or The Real Af by Andy Frisella and his crew. Really like that entrepreneur mindset and giving you just real stuff. The second one, Gary V or the Weekly V. I like what he has to say about social media marketing. And number 3, Joe Rogan. I don't listen to his MMA stuff, but I listen. They ramble. But I like listening to Rhonda Patrick. Go to those ones. David Goggins. And then go to the Jocko one. The military aspect of it is super cool.
Yep, you sent me down a Ed Milet wormhole recently. I started listening to his show.
Yeah,
pretty
Ed
good.
Milet is in the top 5 of mine too. He was one of the first podcasts I listened to.
What's your favorite thing to listen to when you're working out?
Ooh, man. So if it's shoulder day, I only listen to Netflix. I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but it's this pop, rock, rap, combination. Hits real hard for shoulders.
Wow. I'd never heard of it. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I'm all over the place, man. I'm EDM. I got a little punk rock in me. And then I have hip hop. Sometimes it just really depends on my mood. And I get tired of one genre and I'll switch to the other one. But I like, Biggie Smalls. I love the Tupac. I love listening to a little bit of Green Day or AC/DC some days, and EDM is kind of all over the place. I can't really think of artists because they kind of all come together, right? But
sure,
that's my kind of music.
Yeah, for me, outside of shoulders, if I can dance to it, I can sing to it, or it brings some sort of emotional response. That's what I'm into.
Yeah, that's what I'm shooting for too. Is there one track that really stands out, something that you never take off your playlist, or something that gets you up every single time?
I got Win. It's by I can't think of it on the top of my head, but it's an absolute slap. Must have on your playlist. Let me find it real quick. Win by
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
T Grizzly.
Yeah.
That will fire you up.
That's a good one. Mine is it's called Rumors by Netflix. It's their number 1 song. It hits.
All right. Sweet. I'm going to check all that out for sure. I'm going to put those titles in the show notes too. So something that you're really passionate about right now.
My business is Replace SR endurance products.
Yeah.
And really just fitness and personal growth right now. It's how much can you learn? A lot of people are playing victims here when you have the greatest opportunity right now to excel when other people are at home watching TV. You know, a lot of the biggest companies, you look at Uber and a few other big companies back in the financial crisis start. A lot of startups begun during that time frame. So you really have to consider what's important to you and where you want to see yourself after this is back to normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me right now, it's getting my mindset right with being ready to hit the ground running when the gym reopens. When it comes to both training, you know, cardio and the diet, like I want to be able to hit the ground running, and that's something that you just kind of have to mentally prepare for. And then my career development, I'm working towards a management position. I'm currently a project manager, so I'm just grinding with my projects and trying to take that next step.
Very cool. Will we see a professional baseball game in 2020?
I think so. I think it's going to be no crowd.
Yep.
But I do think it's going to be possible. I know people want it, and we're going to find a way.
We're going to give the people what they want.
Do you guys have one last piece of advice for listeners looking to improve their health and fitness?
Be knowledgeable about nutrition. Google things, like learn what you're actually eating and putting into your body. The working out portion is easy once you get into it. It's the knowledge that comes with the nutrition to make the workouts beneficial.
A few things I would say is if you're going to start something, you got to start with a program and stick with it. Don't go different directions. Don't follow one person's workouts and then do another workout. Find a plan, stick to the plan, and meal prep. That's one of the biggest things for me is being ahead of myself on what I'm going to eat. I think that's really crucial. And surround yourself around people that are supporting you and uplifting you and have that mindset of wanting to get involved in the health and fitness space. You know, find your boys, go to the gym and work out, get it going.
Once the gym opens.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, hey, well, that's awesome. Thank you guys so much. I've already taken up so much of your guys' time. Real quick shout out your guys' Instagrams, your websites and all that.
My Instagram is at Kirsten_M1320.
Yeah. And you can check me out on Instagram, cbrunner37. Twitter is Cooper Brunner. TikTok is at Cooper Brunner.
Yeah.
I put a lot of workouts out there. And my website is Cooper Brunner blog or cooperbrunner.com. And it's a free website. If you want any programs, you just have to sign up with your email. You can go check that out and make today count. That's my mantra.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was waiting for you to say that. Yeah. So
his website though, like, is legit, and there's so much free information on there. It's amazing. He's put a lot of time and effort and dedication and heart into that, and it shows, and it looks professional.
And we got some more things coming. We got that macro scale calculator. That's
yeah. I made an Excel spreadsheet that you can like calculate your macros based on your goals, and you can, input some stuff, tell them like how much you want to lose per week, and it spits out your macros for you.
That's coming. I've been working slow at it, but it's coming.
Engineer, Excel.
That's a perfect tool. My wife's been getting into weightlifting, and she loves it now, and that's what she's talking about right now. She wants to get her macros dialed in because she's got the weightlifting down finally, and now it's got to get that diet in order.
Well, if she wants some help, send her my way. I'd love to help.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, thanks a lot again, and the links and the Instagram and all that I will have on the show notes for this episode at wise-eats.com/episode 22. And thanks for bringing some normalcy to this crazy time that we're living in.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, man, that's awesome to chat with you, Wes.
Yeah, great meeting you guys, and take care, everybody. Thanks for listening and watching, and make wise choices.
Make today count.
Have a good day, guys.